Nothing happens. Like, I don't like it. It's not good for my soul. Horrendous prompt. What is cheating? It's one of life's biggest questions. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another weekend reading vlog. But not just any weekend reading vlog, because of course this weekend is Bookoplathon. I am so excited to be taking part in this readathon. I have never taken part in a Bookoplathon before. I am a total Bookoplathon virgin, so I am so excited to finally be taking part in this one. I have been hoping and praying that I would be well enough to do so. After my surgery last week, my recovery was going very slowly and I was in a lot of pain and it was looking pretty touch and go, but I'm starting to feel more like myself. I'm starting to have a lot less pain, so I feel able to take part, which is amazing because I've been looking forward to this for so long, so it really would have impacted on my mental health, I think, if I hadn't been able to. But in saying that, I am going to be taking it very easy. I do not want to burn myself out. I do not want to put any pressure on myself that I really don't need right now. I will literally be lying in this bed reading all weekend. It took about all the energy I have to put makeup on this morning, so yeah, I'm taking it very easy. I'm going to be being very good to myself. It's going to be all about self-care this weekend and just enjoying the experience. I am going to be taking the route that I think a lot of people have taken, and that is to double up on all of the prompts. So obviously the first two prompts are dark cover and fantasy, so I'll be reading a book that is both a fantasy and has a dark cover, and I'll be doing the same for all of the roll drops. So I will hopefully be finishing 4 books in total, like 4 books in total this weekend. That is the plan. Like I said, there'll be no pressure on me if I cannot do so, but I would really love to do that. Also, because I am still recovering, we are currently on Saturday morning. It is like 9:30 right now, so I am very far behind on this readathon, but I needed my sleep. Like, I need the sleep to recover. I've been taking multiple naps a day at the moment because I just have no energy, so yeah, I wasn't going to stay up and affect my mental or physical health in any way, and that is fine. So I am obviously very far behind. So I have chosen for my first book a very small one, but one that will fulfill both of the prompts. I have like just over 2 hours to read this, so it's probably not going to get done before the next roll drop, but that's fine because I'll have a good 12 hours for the next one, so it's all good. I could totally catch up, I have faith. But for my first book for this readathon, I will be reading The Monster of Ellenhaven by Jennifer Giesbrecht, I want to say. You may argue this is not a dark cover because half of it is white, but this is all black, as is the spine, as is all of the back, so I'm saying it's a dark cover. And also, even if we're not saying dark in the colour side of things, if we're getting a little bit abstract, it's dark in the sense that it is monstrous and sinister, so we're going with dark cover. And it is also a fantasy. I've had this on my shelf for ages, so I'm really excited to get around to reading it. It is about 150 pages long, I think, so hopefully a very quick read as long as I can get into it. This book is about, I'm just going to read the blurb. The city of Ellenhaven sulks on the edge of the ocean, racked by plague, abandoned by the south, stripped of industry and left to die. But not everything dies so easily. A thing without a name stalks the city, a thing shaped like a man, with a dark heart and long pale fingers yearning to wrap around throats. A monster who cannot die. His frail master sends him out on errands, twisting him with magic, crafting a plan too cruel to name, while the monster's heart grows fonder and colder and more cunning. The sorcerer's work is subtle, changing minds and curdling hearts with barely a trace left behind, but there are signs to read for magic hunters coming up from the capital in the south. These monsters of Ellenhaven will have their revenge on everyone who wronged the city, even if they have to burn the world to do it. So this just sounds like a really dark, sinister, gothic, monstrous read, and I am very excited to read it. I am going to hop right now onto Steph's sprints. I believe it's Steph's turn right now. I'm going to have everyone's sprints on for both of the days and just have them on the background the whole time, obviously to support the readathon and also to get some good reading in. So I'm going to go start my first book now and I will update you soon. Hi friends, so we've officially finished with Steph's sprints and we have now moved over to Ashley's from A Frolic Through Fiction, and the second roll drops have been announced. However, I have not finished reading my first book yet. I am on page 106 and there is about 160 pages left in this. No, there's 160 pages overall in this, so I have less than 60 pages left, so I'm definitely going to finish it very, very soon, hopefully within the next hour or so, and that will be my first book ticked off. I realise I'm showing you a black book. This is the book I'm reading, as you will remember, and that was to fulfill both a dark cover and a fantasy, so that one is nearly done. However, the next roll drops have been announced and they are contemporary and POC rep. So basically, obviously because of everything that is going on at the moment in terms of Asian hate, I am definitely going to read a book both by an Asian author and with Asian characters in it. Just, I know that that's not like a huge way of showing support, but it is something that you can do. Obviously everyone is constantly sharing links to more Asian authors and books with Asian rep in them, which I think is really important, just to show support in any way you can if you don't have any finances or anything to support in that way. So that is what I'm going to do, and I will of course also have links down below in my description box to fight against Asian violence and Asian hate as well. But I have chosen two contemporaries, both by Asian authors, about Asian characters, and I am trying to choose between the two of them. So I have Anna K by Jenny Lee, which is a modern retelling of Anna Karenina, but it is said to be very Gossip Girl-esque and it sounds really entertaining. However, I have not read Anna Karenina. I do not know the story of Anna Karenina. I have not seen the film. I literally know nothing about it. So maybe I shouldn't dive into this one knowing nothing about the original story, because then I won't really appreciate the retelling, if that makes sense. So I brought this one up thinking this would be my pick, but now the more I think about it, the more I'm thinking, maybe not. So my other option is Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan, which the lovely Chloe from Chloe Reads Books actually gifted to me. She sent this to me for my birthday, which is not until Monday. I opened it early because I couldn't help myself. I don't know how people do unboxings. Like, how do you keep all of the boxes together without opening them? Like, I have to open them as soon as they come. I just have to. I can't help myself. So yes, Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. This one I have seen the film, but I saw it when it came out originally, and that was years ago now, so I don't really remember much about it other than that it was hugely entertaining, it was hilarious, it had a good love story, it had some good issues in there as well, and it just was a wild, fun, romantic comedy ride. So I feel like this is going to be my pick. I have a feeling. I have put a poll up on Twitter to ask what people think between these two books, so that poll is going to last an hour, which gives me time to finish my first book, and then by the time I'm finished with my first book, I will go back, look at the poll and go with that. But I have a sneaky feeling that Crazy Rich Asians is gonna win. Hi friends, so it is now 2 o'clock, so technically I am 2 hours behind schedule in terms of this whole readathon thing, but I have finished my first book of BOOKOPLATHON, which was The Monster of Ellenhaven. I am gonna give this 2 stars. I'm sorry to anyone who loves it, but I just was so bored. Like, I loved so many things about it. I loved I like the idea of having a gothic, sinister, dark atmosphere, and I think there were glimmers of that in here. I like the idea of, I'm sure I've mentioned when I've talked about other books, the idea of like what it means to be a monster, and then ideas of revenge and things like that. And again, there were glimmers of those things in here, but it just felt like the whole thing as a whole, the whole book basically had great potential, some great like starter points for ideas, but it just did not feel well executed in my opinion. Like, everything just felt like there were little seeds planted of things, but nothing had grown and developed, if that makes sense. And yeah, at first I thought, am I just missing something? But I just don't know what I could have missed. Like, there just wasn't enough in here. Like, for a 150 page novella, nothing happened. Like, you're trying to cram things into a small like space and still nothing happens. Like, I just don't get it. Nothing happened. I was bored. 2 stars. That's what we're going to go for. But I have decided on my second book of Bookoplathon for the weekend. Like, we know the 2 prompts are contemporary and POC rep. And I'm going to go for Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. So of course we have got Asian rep in here, I believe from Singapore. Most of the people are in this. And obviously it's a contemporary. The back says, when New Yorker Rachel Chu agrees to spend the summer in Singapore with her boyfriend Nicholas Young, she envisions a humble family home and quality time with the man she hopes to marry. But Nick has failed to give his girlfriend a couple of key details. 1, that his childhood home looks like a palace, and 2, that he just happens to be the country's most eligible bachelor. Soon Rachel's relaxed vacation turns into an obstacle course of old money, new money, nosy relatives and scheming social climbers. This just sounds like so much fun. Like I said, I've seen the film but I don't remember too much about it. I remember, I'm sure she has like a really wacky best friend who... Is it our best friend or is it his cousin or something? There's a very wacky female character in it who I remember loving, thinking was hilarious. And I also remember a very bizarre wedding scene that was like beautiful but bizarre. Like I can't even really remember. I remember there being water and like lily pads. Like, did she walk through water down the aisle? I don't know, but it was intriguing. So I'm really excited to read this one. It is 400 pages? About 403 pages, I think. So this is kind of on the longer side, especially because the writing is like teeny tiny, but I'm hoping it's going to be a nice quick read because it is a contemporary and because it's supposed to be lots of fun. It says it's juicy, it's a must read, it's a dizzy shopaholic comedy, like all that jazz. It's impossible not to get sucked in. So I'm hoping it's going to be a really fast read that I'm just going to get sucked into, like I just said, and yeah, each sprint get through quite a big chunk words. But yeah, so I'm going to start this one now. Of course we're still on Ashley's sprints, so I think they've just started another 45-minute sprint right now, so I'm going to go and see how much I can get read in that time. So I thought I would do a little check-in with you since I have just read the first 100 pages of Crazy Rich Asians. I'm on page 111 and I am really enjoying this. It took me like 50 pages or so to get into it, but I feel like I'm like that with most books. I need a good 50 pages to sort of like get in the zone. It's like my brain needs a bit of time to come to terms with this new world that it's reading about and these new characters that it's reading about. So for the first 50 pages I really struggled to like concentrate, and then after that I'm fine. So for the first 50 pages I was really thinking, oh my god, this was like a bad decision, I am not going to be able to read this, but now I'm really into it. I'm getting sucked into this world. It is so entertaining. It's so interesting as well to see like a completely different culture to my own and to see how rich these people really are and how each character thinks about how rich they are. So you've got like the really snobby ones, you've got the really humble ones, you've got people who think they still don't have enough, like all that jazz, and it's just really interesting to see their whole culture that they have based around that. And then of course you've got their ideas about Rachel coming into this not coming from the same sort of world as them, and whether people are going to accept her or not. And we're 100 pages in and she still has no idea. Like, they're in Singapore now and she's starting to realise that there's a lot of wealth surrounding her and the people she is meeting, but she hasn't met his family yet, so she doesn't know what they're going to be like, particularly his mum, who is very disapproving, who has already had a full background check run on Rachel and she does not approve of her background. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting to get to that, but it is really entertaining, it's really fun. And yeah, I love the whole juxtaposition with like the English and American, well, white English and American people looking at them and thinking very racist thoughts, and then them coming back with all of their wealth and they're just like basically completely bashing all stereotypes, which I really like. I'm really liking reading that side of it, and of course because it is written by an Asian author you can really appreciate his view, particularly because I think it said he was born in Singapore and moved to the US when he was 11. So he has literally been around these cultures, he knows what he's talking about. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this. It is currently 5 to 6 and yeah, I wish I was further into this by now. Like, I'm 100 pages in, it's about 400 pages long, so I'm a quarter of the way through. It would be nice to be halfway through, but I am not, and that is fine. I really do want to finish this one before the next roll drop at midnight though. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to try and stay up till midnight, watch the roll drop, choose my book, and then go to bed. Or if I'm not going to make it to my... Basically, I don't know. I probably won't be doing any more reading tonight after this one though. I feel like I'll start my next book tomorrow and do pretty much the same thing as I've done today, just like catch up in the morning. Hopefully the prompts will allow me to use like a novella or a graphic novel or something like that, and then maybe I can read a novel in the afternoon to finish off the readathon. That is what I'm hoping for, but we know the prompts cannot go your way sometimes, so we shall see. But yeah, I'm going to continue with this one just now. I think I'm going to get some dinner because I'm starving, even though when I'm doing readathons I hate taking breaks even for food, but I need to eat. So I'm going to have some dinner and then I'll get straight back into this one. Hi guys. So we have just hit 9 o'clock and I have hit the halfway mark of Crazy Rich Asians. So I've read 200 pages, I've got 200 pages to go. I have 3 hours to do that. I'm not sure if that's doable, but I was starting to get really stressed. I don't know why I do this to myself whenever I'm doing readathons. I really put too much pressure on myself that I need to stop doing it. I was starting to really stress out about the fact that I had chosen this book and it was taking a little bit longer to read because, I mean, it reads quite fast, like it flows because it's a contemporary, but because there's a lot of words on the page and there's a lot of name dropping and explanations of like how things work within these families, so it can take a bit more brain power than a usual contemporary, I would say. So yeah, I was starting to stress and think I should have chosen something else for these prompts, and I should have chosen something else that I could finish early and then rest, because I do still need to rest and not put pressure on myself while I'm recovering. But I then realised I need to stop thinking so negatively, which is something I also do, and just enjoy it. And I am enjoying myself. I am loving being all comfy, cosy and reading really good books. I'm feeling much more positive as well, knowing that I am now at the halfway mark for this one. By midnight, like I said, I've got 3 hours until midnight. I think by that point I can arguably have 50 pages left, which then gives me plenty of time to catch up with the other one, assuming the prompts are nice to me. But in terms of this one, I feel like we're okay, we're on track, it's all going well. Again, I'm still hoping to finish this tonight before I go to bed so that I'm starting with a fresh book tomorrow, but part of me is still worrying that I'm going to get tired, and then I do need to sleep if I get tired. Like, I need to rest, like I said. So we'll see. In terms of this book, I am really enjoying it. The whole culture here with like these crazy rich people is just insane to me. Like, I just think it must be exhausting to constantly have to be on top of your game, look amazing, wear the most high fashion things, care about what other people are wearing and who they are talking to, only build friendships and relationships with people that are like in your circle sort of thing. The whole thing just sounds exhausting and not something I would want at all. So yeah, Rachel is currently experiencing all of this, and we've not got any of her thoughts yet on how it's like affecting her and how she feels about the relationship. It's not really got to that point yet. She's just like experiencing it, taking it all in, realising like where Nick comes from and what his family's like. She's also not met his mum yet. I am waiting for that because I feel like that's going to be horrible, because his mum wants to set him up with someone else even though he is clearly very happy with Rachel. So yeah, we shall see, we shall see. But I'm going to get back to reading now. I have gone and got myself a Diet Coke to hopefully give me a little bit of energy, because God knows I need it. So yeah, I'm going to drink that and I'm gonna read some more, and hopefully by the time I next speak to you I will have another good chunk of this read. Hi friends, so it is just gone 11 o'clock and as predicted I am on page 303 of Crazy Rich Asians, so I've got exactly 100 pages to go and I am really enjoying this. I just find the whole thing so interesting, the whole idea of these like filthy rich people and the completely different lifestyle that they have to my own and to most people's own. Like, it's just like a culture shock almost reading it. So I can't imagine what Rachel, the main character, is going through actually living it and her partner being part of that whole world. And I mean, she's gone through some absolute crap while she's been there as well, like just completely prejudiced people who think that she's only there as like a gold digger, like she couldn't want him just for him, she must want him for his money. And there are so many really jealous young women because obviously he's like the most eligible bachelor in Singapore and everyone wants him. So yeah, she's gone through some crap and a lot of judgment, and the main one of that is his mum, who we do not like. And like I said, I'm on page 300, so I've got 100 pages left, and I think it's about to fulfill the usual contemporary romance trope, formula, whatever, where something is going to go wrong and then they're going to have to overcome that to then have a happy ending. And I'm pretty sure I know what's going to happen. They're kind of like leading up to it and his mum's got a hand in it, and yeah, it's not fun. But I'm hoping that Nick will come through and show what a wonderful person he really is. But yeah, 100 pages to go, 11 o'clock, so my plan is to read another 50 pages within the next hour before we get to midnight, which means I'll only have 50 pages of this book left to go. I'll of course jump over to Gavin's sprints to find out what the third, well, I say the third roll drops, but it's more like the 5th and 6th, but like I said, because I'm doubling them up, it's just like the third batch sort of thing. So yeah, I'll jump over, find out what those are, probably try to come up with some ideas on what I can use to fulfill them, and then I think I'm going to go to bed. And then my plan is to get up at a good time tomorrow, quickly whack out the last 50 pages of this, which should take like an hour max, so I can get that done really quickly, and then move on to my next read and hopefully make some good progress with that before the next roll drops at 12 o'clock tomorrow. This is the plan. It sounds good in my head, but it all relies on those prompts. So I'm really hoping for good prompts. But yeah, I'm staying positive. I feel like it's gonna work. I'm gonna have a good time. I'm gonna slay BOOKOPLATHON and it's gonna be amazing. Hi guys and happy Sunday. So I am very far behind BOOKOPLATHON now and it's starting to stress me out just a little bit. Like, I tell you, a readathon is an absolute roller coaster. 1 minute you're ahead, next minute you're behind. Like, I don't like it, it's not good for my soul. But no, I am really enjoying myself this weekend. I'm having such a good weekend. I do not mean to put a negative spin on things at all because yeah, I'm having the time of my life. I did get up a little bit later than I wanted to this morning, but like I said, I need to rest and I need to put my health first, so that is what I'm doing. But it is 12 o'clock, so we are just about to get the next roll drop, and I have just finished my second book of the readathon. I finished Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan, and I think I'm going to give this one 4 out of 5 stars. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I said, the whole thing was so interesting to read, just like a complete culture shock, and it was really interesting to get different perspectives on being from that culture and people who appreciate what they have, people who don't, people who maybe wish they came from a different background, all that jazz. And then also to see how people from within that culture will treat others, and again how different that can be. Like, I think one of the most important things in this is that whole way of life, people who come from crazy rich Asian families were not thought of as one homogenous group, but they all had different feelings towards themselves and towards others. And yeah, I just really like Rachel and Nick's whole love story as well. This, I'm sure the film ended very much like that's the end. Like, they must have just decided they were only going to do one film I can't really remember, I'm going to have to rewatch it now. Whereas this, very much I need to read the next book now. So I'm going to have to invest in the second book at some point. But yes, I did really enjoy this one, and as we know, this was for contemporary and POC rep. So I did stay awake until midnight last night and I watched the next roll drop on Gavin's channel, and we got 2 horrendous prompts. I am not happy. One of them was to start a series. No one wants to start a series. Like, I got this in my TBR Pong for the month. So I do actually have one that I need to start anyway, which is Shadow and Bone. But I don't know if I want to start that today. Like, I wanted to read all 3 of those, like Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, and whatever the third one is, for a 24-hour reading vlog. So I kind of want to save that. But then I don't know what else to read, and like I said, because we tried to double up the prompts, the other prompt was a chance card. So you could either pick out books, number them, and like random number generate them, or you could put up a poll on Twitter maybe and get people to choose. So there's that sort of like chance aspect to it. However, if I get books that are first in a series together, I feel like they're all quite long. And I'm really scared. Like, I was really hoping I'd be able to get a graphic novel in there. So what I could do is I don't have it with me, it's in the other room. I'm gonna go get it. So I do have Blackbird Volume 1, which is a collection of the first 6 comics in this series. There has only been 6, and I think since 2018 there's been no more, but it literally says on here number 1, which makes you think there's going to be more, and like book 1 as if there's going to be a book 2. So I'm just going to say it's the start of the series, and even if not in that sense, this was originally 6 comics, so technically I will read the first comic in the series but then just go on to read the others as well. So it works, it fits, I'm allowing it. But then of course that won't fit second prompt, which is the trans card. So I'm a little bit up in the air at the moment. What I'm considering doing is reading this for the start a series prompt, so that I've hit one of them, get the next roll drops, and hopefully be able to fit both of those into one book, and then if I have time go back and do the chance, so that hopefully I will have hit all of the prompts by the end of the weekend. But I don't know. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be a little bit of a cheat, and I'm going to go over to Booked and Busy's channel right now, and I'm going to watch the roll drop because it is nearly 12. So I'm going to watch it, I'm going to see what those prompts are, and then I'm going to decide. You may call me a cheat, I would probably call myself a cheat as well, but like I said, I'm being lenient on myself this weekend and I'm just having a good time. So I'm going to go watch the roll drop and then I'll get back to you. Okay, so we've just got the final roll drops and the prompts are other, which means reading something that from a genre that you wouldn't usually read. And for this they have said that choose your top 2 genres that you always read, or the top 2 genres that you read the most, and then from your 3rd most popular onwards you can read anything from those genres. So my most popular genres would usually be contemporary and fantasy. However, I have been reading more thrillers recently. So I really love to read a thriller, but I don't know if that's cheating. What I think I'm going to do is look at all the books that I've read so far this year, count how many have been contemporary, how many have been fantasy, and how many have been thriller. And then we'll find out what my top 2 genres are, and anything outside that I can read. Let's do that now actually before we talk about the other one. So, beginning of the year, let's start. My first one was a fantasy. So, fantasy 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know what those are. 10, 11, 12 fantasies. Contemporaries, the next one was a thriller. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 thrillers. Contemporaries, there were 1. If there's anything I don't know what class it is, I'm just gonna leave it out. So 1, 2, like what is Wilder Girls? I don't know, I'm just gonna miss that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, so Contemporaries and fantasy are therefore my two most popular genres, and I think that is right because that's probably what I would have been for the last like year or so as well. So we're going to go with that. So anything else I can read, which means I could possibly read a thriller. Now, the second prompt was to be set in the present, which again would really work for a thriller. So I think I'm going to read a thriller. There are a few that I've really been wanting to read, so I think I'm going to read a thriller. I'm quite excited now. I'm going to spend my day reading the thriller. Right, in terms of the other two prompts, what are we going to do? What I could do is triple up one of my prompts. So I could get my thrillers and make a poll for them on Twitter and get people to choose which thriller I read. Therefore, I will have chosen a other genre, set in the present day, and chosen by chance. So that could be like a triple prompt, and then for the start of series, I could read Blackbird. That works. I think I'm going to do that. Is that cheating? I don't know, like, what is cheating? What is cheating? It's one of life's biggest questions. Basically, we're having fun. We can do what we want, can't we? Like, I'm still sticking within the rules, kind of. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So, let me go grab some of my thrillers and then we can make a poll on Twitter. Okay, so here we are. I have chosen 4 thrillers from my bookshelves. We've got 2 Lisa Jewels here, because apparently I'm obsessed with her now. We have got The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware and The Prank by L.V. Matthews. The Prank is the one that I know the least about, but when I saw it in a deal in Asda, I had to pick it up because instantly it just drew me in. Like, the title and this how far is too far, I want to read it. So these are the 4 that we've got, so I'm going to start a poll right now and we will find out which one I'm going to be reading. Okay, so I've just put my little poll up on Twitter. Oh, already we have 3 votes for The Turn of the Key already. Okay, that's interesting. I put it up like a minute ago. But I've set that for an hour, so hopefully people will help me choose what I'm going to read in an hour's time. But for now, in that hour, I'm just gonna chill out and read Blackbird book 1. So I have just finished Blackbird volume 1 and this was 100% a 5-star read. I loved it. The artwork is absolutely incredible. Like, there are no words. The colours are bloody beautiful and the main character Nina, stunning. Like, I spent most of my time just staring at how goddamn beautiful she is. Like, insane. And yeah, it was just such a fun time, such a cool, interesting world. I just loved it. I had a great time reading that. And yeah, there better be a book 2 at some point because I want more of this world ASAP. So yeah, that is my 3rd book of BOOKOPLATHON done and dusted to serve the prompt first in a series. So we are on to now our final book of the readathon, which is so exciting. My poll finished and the winner, well and truly, was Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. So people seem to really want me to read this. I think I had about 4 or 5 comments saying Turn of the Key and it well and truly won in the poll as well. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this one. It says, when Rowan comes across the advert, it seems too good to be true. A live-in nanny position with an extremely generous salary. What she doesn't know is that she's stepping into a nightmare, one that'll end with a child dead and her in a cell awaiting trial for murder. She knows she's made mistakes, but she's not guilty, at least not of murder, which means someone else is. So this sounds very, very interesting. It gives me, well, I mean, it must be supposed to give you Turn of the Screw vibes. Turn the Screw, Turn of the Key, live-in nanny position, weird things happen in the house. So I don't know if it's like a non-paranormal version. I don't really know, but it sounds really good. It sounds really exciting. Everyone says that it's so good, so gripping, like impossible to put down. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this one. Hopefully it'll be a nice quick read to finish off the readathon. It is currently 25 to 2, so I have over 10 hours to read this book, and that's gonna happen. I am so excited. I am actually gonna complete everything that I wanted to do in this readathon, which makes me so happy. Like I said, I've been taking it easy, I've been enjoying my time, so I probably will finish this, what, like by evening, and then I think I'll just call it a day then. Like, I have done everything I set out to do. I've had a great time over the weekend, so I don't want to like put pressure on myself to read anything else really. I just want to keep it as like a really enjoyable experience. So that's probably what I'm gonna do, unless I change my mind before then. But right now I need food, so I'm gonna get myself some lunch. I think we have some leftover curry, which sounds very nice right now, and then I will start this bad boy. Hi guys, so I have just read my first little chunk of The Turn of the Key. I am on page 68 and I am hooked. This is going to be a good one, I can just tell already. It definitely has taken some inspiration from The Turn of the Screw, there's no doubt about that. You've got an unreliable narrator, you've got the nanny position, the strange things going on in this house, the rebellious child who is at boarding school. There's lots of things that have been taken from The Turn of the Screw, but this is obviously something very different already. I'm loving it. For anyone that doesn't know, unreliable narrator is my favourite thing. If an unreliable narrator pops up in a book, I just love it so much. So we've got the main character, whose name I've forgotten already. Do we even know her name? That's a question actually. Maybe we don't know her name. Maybe I've completely missed that. Is it on the back? Oh no, we know her name. We know her name. Don't know how I forgot that. Rowan. So Rowan, it starts off with her writing to a lawyer from prison, like these frantic letters saying like, please help me, I'm innocent, blah blah. And then basically the whole book is her letters to this lawyer telling him what has happened. So at the start it's obviously like, please help me, and then she's like, right, let me get into the story. So now she's telling us the story. So currently where I'm at, she's at, cat just came in and I absolutely shat myself. But yeah, so she's currently at her interview and we're going to learn the rest of the story from there, and I can't wait. I feel like it's going to be such a good one. Those 60 pages flew past, so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and read some more now. Hi friends, so I am now at the halfway mark of The Turn of the Key, and oh my god, this book, it's so good. Like, I have absolutely no idea what's going on. Like I always say, that's the best thing about a good thriller, when you really have no idea what is going on. Obviously, it's definitely drawing on the turn of the screw, and there is this aspect of like, there could be something paranormal going on. Like, the little girls are really weird and obviously hiding something from the nanny. Weird things are happening in the house, like doors that she's closed are open, she's hearing footsteps, things like that. We're hearing stories about what's happened in the house before and things like that, and it's definitely leaving it open to the fact that there could be something supernatural going on here, but it's also leaving it open to the fact that it could be non-supernatural, and it's also leaving it open to the fact that it could be our unreliable narrator going a little bit mad because she is not sleeping, basically, and she is full of lots of stress, and she's isolated in this place with no one she knows, with this really stressful, difficult job. And yeah, and even like, this isn't really a spoiler, one of the little girls just said, like literally just a page ago or something, she said some sort of comment that said, do you know what happens if you don't sleep? You start to go mad and eventually you die. And now I'm like, so does the little girl know that she's not sleeping? Like, is she in on this? Like, what's going on? But yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. It's so fast paced. It's just like go go go. It's first person narration, obviously, because it's this woman writing to the lawyer telling him everything that's happened, and because she's unreliable and because we're not sure about our you kind of take everything she says with a pinch of salt, and you're kind of like, should I believe what she's saying? Is she innocent? I don't know. And also, the whole thing in this is like, obviously a child dies, and I really want to know which child dies and how it happens, because yeah. But it's like major turn of the screw vibes, but done with a really interesting modern twist. And also one of the things that's so interesting is like they live in a smart house, so everything's done through like these panels or voice activation and like through an app, and also there are cameras basically everywhere in the house. So even though, so the mum and dad are away and have left her with the children, but even though they're away, they can literally watch her every move. So like, also obviously first of all that's creepy, and secondly it totally adds to the fact that she could go mad, because anyone would crack under that sort of like paranoia of the idea that people are always watching you. So yeah, very intrigued. I will probably get back to you once I finish this, to be honest, because I'm just going to race for it till the end now, I think. Hi friends, so it's about 7:30 in the evening just now, but I have decided that I am going to call it a day on Bookoplathon for this time. I have not finished my last book of the readathon, but my pain is starting to kick in quite bad and I'm really tired, and I think I just need to rest and just be happy with what I've achieved this weekend, and that is totally fine. I haven't read 8 books like some other people, but I have read like 3 3/4, and I'm really happy with what I've done this weekend, and I've had such a good time doing it, which is the main thing. So yes, I'm going to call it a day. So, in the course of this weekend for Bookoplathon, I have read The Monster of Elendhaven, which fit the prompts for a fantasy and a dark cover, and I gave this one 2 stars. I then went on to Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. I gave this one 4 stars, and it was for contemporary and POC rep. I then moved on to Blackbird Volume 1, which was for the prompt first in a series, and I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars. I loved this one. And then finally I moved on to The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware to fit the chance prompt, the other genre prompt, and the present time prompt. And I am on page 204, so I've got about 130 pages or so to go. I'm over the halfway mark. I'm absolutely loving it. I don't want to put it down, but I'm just not able to concentrate right now, so I am gonna have to. But I am really enjoying this book, and I will of course give my full thoughts in my wrap up at the end of the month. But yes, that will wrap up this lovely weekend of reading. I just want to say a huge thank you as well to Becca, of course, and Becca the Books, for organising this, and for all of her amazing co-hosts as well who were doing all her reading sprints for her as well. It's just amazing. I love the community vibe that comes with a readathon like this. The amount of people that's taken part has been absolutely incredible, and I'm so happy to be part of this community. It's just been such a lovely weekend, so a huge thank you to Becca and all of her lovely helpers as well. But that will conclude this reading vlog, so if you did enjoy it then do please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe for more bookish content from me, comment down below with any of your thoughts and feelings, and I will see you in my next one.